up, PA? Just listening to the show here to start the morning off. This is Pace from Fargo. And if you don't have a pep in your step today, man, there's something wrong with you. This team, man, this freaking team is the one. It's the one, man. Your life could be in the dumps. And you watched last night's game, you watched that last series, and you got a pep in your step. This team makes everybody's lives in Minnesota, all the Wolves fans, that much better. Pep in your step Monday, baby.
Wow, I love that. Pep in your step Monday after a Sunday fun day, and now into the final hour with former Mr. Basketball in the state of Minnesota, or the state of hockey. Mr. Basketball in the state of hockey. It's Kevin Lynch, who used to play in the NBA for Charlotte and played for the University of Minnesota, analyzes basketball, assumedly for profit for Bally Sports North. Just take it away. I mean, what did your trained eye think of the game when we were getting bludgeoned in the key early, 13-2 paint points for them? Yeah. You know, I'm writing down, how does the luxury tax work, and will free agents actually finally want to come here? Carl's carrying the team to then Jamal Murray can't hit a shot. Yeah. Now they purposely, I believe, are leaving Joker guy open from three. You got to make a bet somewhere, and then you got to win the bet. And him shooting from three, we had seen early in the series that they'll leave him open. And if you're going to hit it, you're going to hit it. We'll check you. And he wasn't hitting it to the end when they won. Just good morning. What'd you think of the whole thing, Kay Lynch?
Well, you know, I was really curious to see when the game started, just to kind of read the body language of the Wolves players, because in an environment like that, Game 7 on the road, defending champs, and the Wolves, your two best players, Towns and Edwards, have been emotional, to say the least, which has really hurt them at times. Complaining to referees that the last couple months of the regular season into the playoffs, they've been way better. You and I have talked about that. But I guess my point is, I was just kind of wanting to see the emotional state of the Wolves players right when the game started. And I was encouraged to see how calm everybody looked, because that's how you do it. You don't win in environments like that. Let's go, come on, get us. Yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah. The calmness, it's got to be the opposite of that. Now, there's moments where you can get like that after a big play, but for the most part, it's been interesting to watch how calm everybody's been for the most part, and especially Towns and Edwards, and everybody was, not just the two of them, but that was the interesting thing. And then the second thing, let me say this too, Paul.
Say the whole thing, man.
Come on, there's more.
We've been howling for 2 hours.
That's right. Exactly. So another thing is a big part of this win, the series win, is having a guy like Edwards who pulls everybody with him and has that personality. I don't think Karl-Anthony Towns, for as talented of a player as he is, he's got a big personality. He's got a healthy ego, which, to be as good as he is, you got to have all that stuff. But I don't think he really has the personality that pulls everybody with him. And that's what Edwards has got. Yeah. That it factor, that refuse to lose. I don't know if I'm describing this as well, but that comes from Edwards, your best player. And so I was reading body language, and I was really kind of been thinking about how Edwards and his will to win was a big part of this.
I love that. And Kevin, there were two moments in the game where they were polar opposite for me, where when the Nuggets were crushing the Timberwolves in the first half, might have been up 15 or whatever, but when Christian Brown went streaking down the key with a 40-inch vertical, like, I'm going to dunk on the whole history of your team here, because that's how on top of you we are. Right. All right. Now, they don't have great dunkers on that team. Aaron Gordon can dunk if you let him free, that's right. He was in the dunk championship shooting. Might have won
Zach LaVine. Against Zach LaVine, yeah.
There you go. So it wasn't Aaron. It was Christian Brown, not known for streaking through the paint and dunking on people. Well, he missed it, but, I mean, that's how confident they were. They were doing stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, might not be our night tonight. Fast forward to the final, 5-6 minutes? Yeah. And here's Elvin Hayes. I mean, Rudy Gobert with the baseline. Are you kidding me? And you'll get this. We're about the same age. I mean, when it comes to big guys, 6'9" or bigger, with the baseline fadeaway with the big guy, Elvin Hayes basically invented it and like patented it and made it a thing, as the kids would say. Well, that's what Rudy did. He did an Elvin Hayes baseline fadeaway jump shot. And then Rudy in the key with the left-handed scoop. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
And I'm like, Denver's in a lot of trouble right now when Rudy's doing stuff like that. Did you agree?
Yes, 100%. And that fadeaway by Gobert was from 17 feet. We're not talking about 8-footer.
It's Elvin Hayes.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that was from 15 to 17 feet. Fading away, that thing drops in. Yeah, his scoop shot with the left hand gets fouled. I think he missed the free throw.
Of course he did.
But then somebody else had a really tough, it might have been Naz Reid, might have had a really tough lefty layup at the same time. Yeah. Conley
when Naz spun it with his left hand, he spun it off the backboard.
There we go.
Awesome shot.
And then Conley hits Porter Jr. was guarding him. Conley kind of shot fakes. Porter Jr. kind of slides to the one side, and then Conley sticks that crazy three. It's like those shots started dropping, and I'm like, here we go, baby. This is great.
That's Kevin Lynch analyzes basketball for Bally Sports North. More on the Wolves' victory around the corner, but first.
The Fan, along with BigDeck.com, want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword WIN. You might win $1,000 with the keyword WIN at KFAN.com.
It means everything, honestly. It's something I've been thinking about, dreaming about my whole career. You get to this point in your career and you know that there's not too much left as far as years, behind this. So it's hard to get the guys to feel that urgency. You got 22, 23-year-olds that have no idea what they just did and what they just accomplished. But, just trying to get them to feel my urgency from the get-go, from the playoffs, and what it means to be in these moments. And they've really taken that and taken it to heart.
Mike Conley, 36 years of age, hitting big shots, leading them, and there was a point of the game where, again, I'm writing down notes as the game flow changes, and I'm starting to be like, wow, so how does the NBA luxury tax work? And would free agents actually want to come here? And wow, legitimately, what a great step they took in the process to get this far, but they're not going to win. And with Conley, I was getting pissed off. He can't beat anybody off the dribble. So that started to reemerge where, during the season, I was like, it'd be nice to have Mike beat somebody consistently off the dribble, which he can do. But, he doesn't do it as much as he used to because he's 36.
Right.
But he impacts the game in so many subtle ways, doesn't he, Kevin?
Yeah, and a lot of it, to me, is locker room talk, pulling Edwards aside, talking to Jaden McDaniels in the middle of a practice or a game, and just, whispering his, whatever. And
sweet nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Doing that type of stuff. Go to me goes a long way. You know what I was thinking of when I was driving down here? So this is 20 minutes ago, and I'm thinking about D'Angelo Russell last year on this team. I was talking to somebody this morning, did some other interview this morning, and it's like they were talking about how Rudy Gobert, how disappointing his season was last year. And I'm like, wait a minute. I said, he still had averaged 12, 13 points a game last year.
Wow.
11 rebounds. He didn't have a great season, but he had a good season, with the stats. Towns was out, so that affected their record, all that kind of stuff. But I'm also like, Gobert is way better with Conley than he is with D'Angelo Russell, who's immature. We've all known that the last couple of years. And just like, he's just he didn't bring out the best in Gobert. He was a little bit negative towards Gobert. Conley gets here, and he's like, Conley actually pulled everybody aside after he got traded here last year and said, this is what we need to do. Like, he pulled the players all aside, probably the coaches there too. This is what we need. When we run a pick and roll, this is the best way to do it to maximize Rudy. You think D'Angelo Russell's going to do that? Absolutely not. And Conley is just mature in that way. And he's just, he's been a big part of this. And we talk about all these other guys, Naz Reid, Towns, Edwards. Conley has been huge.
What an amazing piece of analysis, because A, I didn't know that, and B, it completely makes sense. Well, with your Timberwolves went 3-1 against Dallas this year, but in looking back at the box scores, and I know I watched a majority of most of them, there are common threads here, like Kyrie Irving didn't play in 3 of them. Luka didn't play in 2 of them. The Wolves went 3-1. Naz Reid on December 14th, 7 of 11 from 3. In a game, Anthony Edwards shot 3 of 19. No Kyrie Irving. These Mavericks, if you remember them from the regular season and haven't watched them in the postseason, it's completely different. I mean, when they first played, Dante Exum was playing 28 minutes and Grant Williams was playing 36. And I mean, seriously, Dante Exum is taking fat zeros during the playoffs. Now he's a bench guy who barely or never plays. Now, the one time the Mavericks beat the Wolves, they didn't play. The Wolves have yet to play them with Gafford and PJ Washington.
Yeah.
All 4 games were before the trading deadline and between December 14th and I believe New Year's Eve. All 6 games were played at that time. But when Luka and Kyrie played together, they combined for 69 points. They went 11 of 20 from 3 in a game. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards shot 22 of 43 and scored 60 points. Naz Reid was 7 of 12. And the Mavericks beat the Wolves January 7th, the only time Kyrie played. I mean, Kyrie's a handful. Whether you like him or not, he's been to the NBA championship. He knows how to shut down the Steph Currys of the world when completely engaged and giving everything.
Yeah.
Luke hasn't played a second of defense in his life. And, well, that's just not his thing. Don't you agree? I mean, Luka, he's lumbering. He just looks like he doesn't try on defense.
I agree with you to a point. I mean, he's never played a second of defense. I don't agree with that, but he's an offensive guy. He controls the flow of the game. He takes a lot of shots. The thing that Wolves have in favor, and this is one thing I said before the Phoenix series, now before Denver, was Alexander Walker, Edwards, and McDaniels attacking defense. I mean, the Wolves are built to slow down guys like Doncic. There was a game last year, Doncic and Irving, because what's going to happen, and I can't wait till Wednesday, because Edwards is going to guard Irving, McDaniels is going to guard, and this is just to start the game, going to guard Doncic, and those 2 guys can do a good job on 2 good scores like that. So, and then you got Alexander Walker playing a lot of minutes too. So, the Wolves are favored in this series. They got the home court.
We got home court,
yeah, home court advantage. So, in a couple weeks we could be talking about the Wolves in the NBA Finals. Are you kidding me? Exactly.
Yeah, playing the Boston Celtics, probably.
Right.
I mean, this Celtics-Indiana thing, it's the 3-point shooting in this series. They're going to be chucking it up from all over the place. But the Timberwolves are not afraid of Boston. I mean, they've played Boston incredibly well with some games that they may not have won. But in closing here, one of the more impressive Timberwolves games this year for me involved Boston, at Boston. Timberwolves kill Orlando on like a Tuesday. Just kill them.
That's right.
And they got a back-to-back. It's at Boston.
The next night, yeah.
And they fight Boston tooth and nail through overtime, and you could see visually, like you could see from the Nuggets last night. The Nuggets visually, with about 4 minutes left, their tongues were down to their knees. They were so tired and just fatigued. Well, the Timberwolves got that way in overtime, where you could just tell they were slow to get back, and it's like, I'm not mad at you. It's a back-to-back with travel against this high-end team, running you up and down the court, shooting threes from all over the place, and you almost beat them. The defense, they gave Tatum to Jaden McDaniels on the game's final possession, regulation final possession. No picks, 1 pick. He got around it, and it's like it's you versus him. And he forced Tatum into a bad fadeaway that he missed, and the game went to overtime. And I just recall, you traveled and you're playing them and you fought them all the way. Very, very impressive. But now I've seen McDaniels one-on-one with Tatum, where if there aren't 18 picks and switches and everything, Jaden just showed Jason, I'm not afraid of you, and I will force you without fouling you into a tough shot. So if it ends up being that, I'm just saying that, hey, not that I'm casting I am a little bit, but that Luka and Kyrie are next, Gafford and Lively and PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. If you sleep on Derrick Jones Jr., he'll hit 6 threes and he'll dunk on you down the middle of the key. So Jason Kidd. I mean, I started calling races in Northern California at Bay Meadows when Jason Kidd played a cow with Tony Gonzalez, or right around there. I went and watched Tony Gonzalez play basketball at Cal.
Oh, really?
The tight end, Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, okay, that guy.
And Sharif Abdur-Rahim. So right when, 93, man, right when I started up there. So this all causing me to hearken. Let's stay in touch, and we'll see each other soon to discuss some Timberwolves and also your camps. Were those interested in basketball camps or athlete camps? Lynchcamps.com. Go to lynchcamps.com and sign up now. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.